Hello, everyone. My name is Lora Rigutto, and I am a CITP, a Certified International Trade Professional, and I am the Partnerships and Community Lead here at FITT. So this session is being recorded today and will be shared with all registrants in a follow-up email. Today's guest panelist is Mathieu Cousineau DeGarie. He is a CITP Manager, Business Development, Factoring, National Bank. Hello, Mathieu. We will hear from Mathieu in short order, but for now, I just wanted to invite questions in the Q&A box throughout this 30-minute session. Today's session, as I said, you didn't hear incorrectly, it is 30 minutes. It's going to be very quick. We're going to provide a lot of information, but hopefully very important and relevant information for you. Please feel free to use the chat to introduce yourself, the organization that you represent. It's always interesting to see who else is on the call. But before we get started today, we acknowledge and give thanks for the opportunity to join you today from the unceded territory and homeland of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. Wherever you are, please take a moment to recognize and respect the ancestral custodians, nations, and peoples who lived on these lands long before any settler, each with their own unique culture, language, and history. So without further ado, I will just share my brief PowerPoint. And I promise it will be brief. All right, so in case you're wondering if you've hit the right session, we are in the Upskill to a Trade Proficient Team info session, and it's for organizations that are growing global or for those who advise businesses to scale. So some of the content provided to you today is content taken from FITTskills training. You can see that on the bottom left, FITT and EDC, we've partnered to provide our FITTskills Learning Center, and that's the program, that's the course of international specific training dealing with international trade. So we're going to go over what is, the importance of skills training, talk a little bit about FITT's corporate solutions, the current state. I know, the elephant in the room, this trade war, we're going to dive into that. And I'm going to give you my take on that and what organizations can do to navigate this current situation. Talk about the importance of being prepared. I'll provide you with a tool that you can use. And then we're going to have that panel discussion. I can't wait, with Mathieu. And then we'll open it up for the last 15 minutes for Q&A. So let's get started. So studies have shown time and time again that, as more roles emerge, there's a hunger to pick up new skills. And there is a need for within organizations to have individuals with a particular skill set. And right now, we know that growing global requires a unique skill set. And I know we'll hear more from Mathieu, and we had a little bit of a conversation before this info session got started. But he, as a CITP with this international trade skill set that he has, is more popular, as he said, more popular than ever before. Organizations want somebody with that broad view of international trade, and someone that understands all the complexities, all those moving pieces, and has that big picture in mind. So FITTskills training is global in scope. So our body of knowledge is country neutral. It doesn't matter if it's a Canadian exporter or an exporter from Turkey or an importer. It's all about understanding what's involved in international trade. Our FITTskills training is created, and I know it sounds cliche, created by business for business, but it actually is created by business for business, backed by business standards. Our body of knowledge is updated regularly, and we have a committee made up of business and international trade professionals that review our body of knowledge. and suggest updates and scan everything thoroughly for any inaccuracies or any updates, as I mentioned, that need to be made. With our FITTskills training, there's also an opportunity to earn credentials, and I'll go into that a little bit later. So our corporate solutions, basically, we can help your organization build export-ready teams. It can be across departments. It could be within an entire department. Our corporate solutions also allow your organization to gain recognition through our global trade network. Our global trade network encompasses various international trade professionals in various industries, including, for example, the Trade Commissioner Service. So Global Affairs Canada has a mandate for their trade commissioners to take our FITTskills training. So many trade commissioners around the world are actually certified international trade professionals and have taken our FITTskills training, as well as EDC, their trade advisors, and other organizations, too many to mention, also have certified professionals and those who have taken our courses. FITTskills corporate solutions can be used for organizations to help an organization upskill, to help with employee retention. We can create a cost-effective, customized upskilling program for organizations. We can streamline onboarding for new employees. I know several organizations who require, as part of a new hire's onboarding, they have to take a certain FITTskills course. And why recreate the wheel? It can be used as part of your onboarding and upskilling programs. It also boosts retention, because an organization that invests in their employees is a very attractive organization. And then it also can enhance the credibility of your organization as an organization that values professional development. Trade experts, if your employees gain this unique skill set, then they're better able to manage risk, minimize costly errors by understanding regulations, compliance, and various trade risks. They can help your organization expand, so evaluating new international markets. Operational efficiency can help you improve processes, look at supply chain management, and really assess the readiness for an organization to grow global. Competitive advantage, trade those individuals with FITTskills training can stay ahead with the current knowledge that they've learned and understand global trade trends and best practices. Individuals with FITTskills training also can forge stronger partnerships, builds credibility and trust with international clients, suppliers, and stakeholders. And those with trade expertise helps an organization identify new opportunities and maximize profitability. So what exactly is FITT's Corporate Solutions? It's basically a customized package of FITTskills training. So we would work with you to find, what your needs are and customize a package that's right for your organization. So the minimum number of courses starts at 10, and it can be a combination of courses and workshops. How we do this is through redemption codes. So one code equals one seat for one course or workshop. It can be for, individuals in wherever they are in an organization, or it can be a complete team cohort where everybody's taking the same course for that entire department. So it's self-directed, it's very flexible. The timeline for the redemption of the codes is 6 months. And the individual, once they've redeemed that code for the course, the individual has 3 months to complete the course. And there is an opportunity to earn credentials. So the difference is that instead of purchasing courses online through our fitfortrade.com. The difference is that FITT would meet with you, we'd customize a package, and then you would sign a purchase agreement, and you would have to pay for the package of courses up front, and then you would be given the codes, redemption codes, and then it would be up to each organization to distribute those codes to the individuals that want to upskill. Here are our 6 courses. This is our international trade program. Everything from feasibility of international trade, which I do highly recommend. I think it is one of the best courses, and I think all organizations should have their teams take minimum that feasibility of international trade, because that lays out the whole international trade landscape, so the broader picture. And then from feasibility, we have other courses, for example, market entry strategies, international sales and marketing, and trade finance. Credentials, as I mentioned, so the completion of 3 courses would give an individual the certificate in international trade. 6 courses is our full program, and that you would get the diploma in FITT diploma in international trade. And the CITP designation basically is for individuals who have the diploma, the FITT diploma in international trade, plus 3 years of relevant international trade experience, then they can apply for the CITP designation. Here are some top reasons. I'm not going to mention everything, but here are some top reasons according to CITPs of the benefits of having the CITP designation. Valuable career asset for employers worldwide. The designation proves their competency, et cetera, et cetera. All right, current state, where are we right now? So this is a little bit of my take and what I see on the current situation, but I do like this quote: wherever there is danger, there lurks opportunity. Whenever there is opportunity, there lurks danger. The two are inseparable, they go together. So, that really does resonate really well with me, with FITT, because there is opportunity, but you need that unique skill set. You need that FITTskills, those FITTskills courses and the knowledge in order to be able to mitigate some of these risks that are there. All right, so reasons why, and I'm going to leave this with you, but reasons why exporters are more successful. If you are on this call today, you understand that exporting can lead to greater success for organizations for various reasons. But we also have to understand that there are challenges to exporting: increased costs and risks, longer payment terms, foreign exchange risks, level of commitment, staying in it for the long run. You've got the cultural challenges, you've got language, time zones, cultural differences. You've got that regulatory piece, contract structures that may be different, will be different when you go into new international markets. And understanding that, some of the challenges: can you actually access that market? Do you have can you comply with the regulations in the market? Are there any other barriers? What is the level of competition like? So as I see it, there are many challenges in my talking to various organizations. There are many challenges right now because organizations do lack a global mindset, and that is keeping them back. They often want to maintain the status quo, but we know right now it's impossible to maintain the status quo. So what can organizations do? So we know that exporting is daunting. Diverse cultures, diverse ways of doing business can be very scary. But that's why more and more it's important to understand, to do that, to be prepared, to take that training in order to help an organization navigate through all of this. Organizations lack a strategic approach to global expansion. Often they rely too much on those unexpected sales requests that land in their inbox, or they underestimate, and with that, they underestimate either the opportunity or the complexities involved. Not enough due diligence is done. And what I also see as a major challenge is that when an organization has created an export plan, they have this one and done mentality. So they create this export plan. It's, in their minds, they create it, they shove it in a drawer, or they create it so they can apply for funding, and then shove it in a drawer. This is actually, an export plan is actually a fluid document. It's a living, breathing document, which is a roadmap, which often has lots of U-turns, which often has different forks in the road. So it should be fluid, constantly updated, and an organization needs to do the due diligence to constantly analyze the data that's out there. And then the last thing I want to mention is, a challenge is understanding what export readiness truly is and feasibility. So is it truly feasible for an organization to enter into that market? Have they addressed all of the gaps? Will they, at the end of the day, after doing a thorough cost analysis, will they actually make a profit? Because if they've done all this, if they've expanded into a new market, and there's no profit to be earned, then this was all for nothing. So I'm looking at the time. I want to allow enough time for a discussion with Mathieu, but I am going to leave you with a new resource that FITT has created. It's called the Export Vision Board. This I see as a first step to help organizations create their export plan. So it goes through 9 fundamental components. Having an export vision is often that first step to creating the export plan. So almost like a roadmap. So some of these 9 areas, from understanding your motivational factors, your unique value proposition, what makes you different, where do you want to export to, what are your target markets, who are your customers, those customer segments, how will you reach those customers in the different markets, how will you make money? Show me the money. What are the revenue streams? What are the major costs? And then partnerships. What are the key partnerships you need to forge? And then what resources do you have and which resources do you need to flush out your gaps? And then this is those key timelines, next steps. When do you want to land your first sale? So having this vision, I think, is what was missing for a lot of companies, wherever they were on the export continuum. This is a really good exercise to do. So that is available at fitfortrade.com/export vision board. I know that Tiffany is going to drop that link in the chat. In terms of corporate solutions, my email is there. We have a corporate solutions page on our website. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time. And I am looking at the time. So at this point, I wanted to introduce Mathieu.
Hi.
Hello. So welcome again. So just a little bit more of an intro. So Mathieu Cousineau DeGarie has spent the last 10 years working for National Bank's Trade Finance Department. He holds a master's degree in international law from the Université du Québec à Montréal and has always stayed true to his passion for international trade. He received the CITP designation in 2020 after completing the FITTskills training curriculum. Mathieu, first of all, I thank you for a very short bio. Every time I ask someone for a short bio, I don't get it. So I thank you for that. And can you just tell me in your own words about your career path, how you got started in international trade, and when did you hear about FITT?
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you for the invitation. And just so, petit message à mes collègues francophones sur l'appel. Je suis très content de vous voir aussi. And so, yeah, I'll talk a bit about, my career path. I joined the bank in 2014 after completing my master's. And, it was a friend who invited me over to try out, working in the documented credit team at the bank. After a couple of years, I really, I decided that what I wanted to do was really to go into sales and to represent the bank and support our customers who were dealing with international trade project or endeavors. And that's where I started, my career as a manager international trade back in 2016. And I just switched recently jobs. So if you see my, on my LinkedIn, I work now in the factoring department, which is really close. Basically, it's trade finance, but which is another product class. But during these 8 years working in international trade in the sales department, continuous training was always a topic that was close to our heart, and that we wanted really to to investigate. And when in 2019 our management brought up the idea of rolling out the FITTskills curriculum to the entire department, I raised my hand and I said, I'm interested, because I'm always open to learn. And I completed the FITTskills class at the beginning of the pandemic. So I had a lot of time to read, which was a good thing. And I got the designation. Something that was interesting is that during this process, our management decided that they would link the achievement of the FITTskills curriculum and the designation as a CITP to a potential promotion. So in our team now, if you become a CITP, or if you have a similar type of certification, you're entitled to a promotion to become a senior director in our department. So that is something that was put in place, and it still holds true today. So that's a concrete example of how we introduced the FITTskills program at the bank. That's it.
Fantastic. I love that. So how do you think, knowing that, how do you think that, like, does the CITP designation and FITTskills training, does that
Yep.
bring value to the bank? Do you believe?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll tell you a bit about my experience. So I did the 6 courses. Obviously, well, I wouldn't say it was a breeze, but it was easier for me to read the course on trade finance, because that's one. Which course was my favorite was the global value chain one, which usually is the most boring one, the hardest one, because it's 700 pages of logistics. But it was so alien to me that I just enjoyed reading about the challenges that my clients face in their logistics chain, and understanding it. And now I see in the current context, in this at this juncture, exactly the advantage that I got and the skills that I got and how I'm able to put them forward. If you just look at right now, the way our clients are tackling tariffs, one question that comes up really quickly is the Incoterms, because the Incoterm will determine who in the transaction, which party is going to have to assume the tariffs. And that is really just a simple question, but that is seldom considered by our customers, by entrepreneurs. And so having this sensitivity and this curiosity to ask this question really just brings forward your expertise as a banker. And it's something also, I would just like to say this also, bankers, I think the misconception that people have on our job when, in terms of credit underwriting, is that we just crunch numbers in spreadsheets and then we get a ratio and that you're approved. But I would say that's like 30% of our job. Credit underwriting is about storytelling. The qualitative aspects of a file are really crucial. And international trade, it's even more important, because you need to understand exactly all of the elements that come into play, and the risks and the different aspects of the transaction, and having an end-to-end understanding of the sales cycle of a company is really key in our job, I would say. So that's what I got from the FITTskills training, for sure.
I love that. I love that.
Yep.
And I couldn't agree with you more. I was working years ago. I started my career working for a foreign government. And so I was constantly working with exporters and looking at their price sheets and trying to find
Mm.
importers in Canada for their products and services, and I'd see their price sheet with an Incoterm, and I was like, it was just kind of, I don't know, nice to
Yeah.
see. And then when I took the FITTskills training, the global value chain course, and you realize how, an Incoterm on a pricing sheet has so many implications. So then I was able, with the FITTskills training, I was able to connect all the dots. And I thought I knew a lot. I'm not saying everything, but it wasn't until I did the training myself that I was able to really properly help those exporters navigate through all of that and help
Yeah.
them land in Canada. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
very interesting for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we, I'm looking at some of the key areas you were saying that people at
Yeah.
the bank think that you just crunch numbers and
Yeah.
having that big picture view. Can you tell me now, in light of the current trade war and all this uncertainty, have you, because you mentioned that before we started the webinar, are
Yeah.
people coming to you, like
Yeah.
within your organization, outside your organization? Are they coming to you to help them make sense
Yeah.
of a lot of this?
So right now, two things that I can say is that, well, banks right now are conducting, a due diligence on their portfolio to identify and to try to quantify the U.S. exposure of our customers, to prepare for eventual risks related to tariffs. So what we're being asked right now is really to go into the portfolios and to contact clients to ask them how or what is the exposure. And I mean, exposure is can be an empty, an empty concept if you don't have the right tools to ask the right questions to your customers. And I think that a lot of account managers right now who are not accustomed to talking about international trade won't have, these right tools for analysis. And I mean, bringing in CITPs or experts in trade finance will help banks better assess their own risk. So that is one thing that is really important. That's on the internal side. So, we have a value added for our own organizations. Then for customers, I mean, customers right now, clients, companies are really stressed out. They're panicking because they don't know what's going to happen. It is very uncertain how everything's going to unfold on April 2nd. We're all waiting for this. But I mean, right now, what we're doing with our clients is really trying to make sure that they are well surrounded. And so, for instance, having a general understanding of customs rules will allow a banker to make sure that the customer did his homework or his or her homework and knows exactly what are the implications for their company. If not, then our network, and again, going back to, having an extensive network of CITPs will help us also to find the right resource for this company if they require assistance on a specific topic. So I'm a banker. Yes, that's my trade, but I'm also a CITP, and having this extensive network, as I said, of trusted colleagues in different fields of expertise allows me then to refer my clients to the right people.
Yeah, that's perfect. I see there are a lot of CITPs on this call today, and you can't underestimate the network. You can't underestimate the power and the strength in the network of other
Yeah,
professionals that you can reach out to, because
for
you
sure.
don't know all the answers and you don't have all those connections, but you're connected to someone that might have the right connections.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I absolutely agree with that. What about how would you, like, right now, understanding understanding the current situation, if there are organizations on here, if there are businesses on here that are thinking of upskilling their teams, or hiring someone either that has the FITTskills training or upskilling a whole team. What would you think is the biggest benefit right now, like with this current situation? I have my own ideas, but I'll pass that one to you. Like, what do you think they would make the biggest impact with currently?
Yeah, well, I'll say it again. Like we can't be experts in everything. Jack of all trade, but master of none. I'd say, but it's more about having this broader view, as I said, to be able. Because I mean, what I love about the FITTskills training is that you have an end-to-end comprehension or understanding of the sales cycle in international trade, and that is so important because you'll be able to have and to ask relevant questions at every step of the way. And I'd say having a CITP in a business, because I mean I work for a bank, I intervene in files at specific moments, in the life cycle of a company. But having a CITP in a business will allow this company to have, as I said, really a bigger and better understanding all of the nuances and the nuts and bolts of what it means to go international, to go global. And right now, with our Canadian companies who are struggling in understanding, the changes in the situation with the U.S. with trade rules that hadn't changed for years, and also these companies right now thinking about maybe exploring other markets. It is even more important right now to have someone in your organization that can understand all, as I said, of the detail. And so this is to me. It's a field of expertise that is popular right now. It is very much in demand, and to me, that is down the line in upcoming months and years going to be crucial for the growth of our companies and our economy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Fantastic. I also think that right now, the talk of tariffs, companies are, if I had a dollar for every time somebody mentioned the word diversification, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Either investment, portfolio diversification or market diversification. Like it's having someone that has more of a global mindset and understanding, yes, maybe our number one customer is in the United States in one market, but understanding that there's a lot of risk involved when, policy changes or decisions change with one customer. So it's important to have other markets, constantly assessing opportunities in other markets, understanding, Canada has a free trade agreement with 15 free trade agreements that it's signed with 51 countries. So there are 14 other free trade agreements, that Canadians can do business with 50 other countries and have preferential access to that market. So
Yeah.
understanding how to leverage those trade agreements, looking if it's truly, if there's opportunity there to export your products or deliver your services in that market, taking advantage of CETA, for instance, or
Yeah.
CPTPP. So having someone with that skill set that would have that as a constant, like a constant scan, it takes a long time. There's no quick bullet, there's no magic bullet solution. This takes time. And it's just a constant scanning for opportunity and then assessment of the opportunity, but it could lead to great success, in the future. And right now, there could be some low-hanging fruit in other markets, but it needs to be, there needs to be a strategy there and an understanding of what's involved in entering new international markets.
And yeah, and you're right. And I mean, when you talk to CEOs, they're, right now they want to know what's the situation, what are their risks, that they're facing. And also they're looking for new opportunities, as you said. And if I could, just mention a really down to earth solution or advantage that you have if you work with the CITP is that a CITP, with the training that we have, we're able to give you a good idea and a good sense of the cost of doing business in different markets. What are the different risks, but also what are the costs related to integrating this new market in your business, and that's something that is important because right now we're assessing, what is going to change with the relationship with the U.S. And I mean, you're very well aware that going abroad is not something that is done overnight. It takes years, and so some of our clients right now are wondering, should I just drop the U.S. and go to Europe, with the CETA, or should I go to Asia Pacific? Well, or maybe the best thing would be just to maintain the relationship that you have with your customers in the United States, but you just need to factor in, the new parameters, the new costs related to tariffs. But how do you factor that in, and how do you assess that your activities are still profitable? Well, that is something that FITT skill training can really help carry out as an analysis, for sure.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And also looking for other opportunities, maybe to piggyback with a domestic manufacturer, right, who already has those clients in international markets, if that's possible. Obviously, it's different for every organization, for every industry, but kind of start thinking outside the box and evaluating potential areas of opportunity to enter into new international markets. So
Yeah.
I don't see, so we're at 12:07 Eastern Time. I don't see any questions that have come in. So again, I welcome you to drop any questions for Mathieu or myself. I have some questions that constantly come up in terms of corporate solutions in a package, in terms of if you have an organization and there are 4 individuals that want to do the training, do they all have to start at the same time? No, it's very flexible. They can start according to their own schedule, and your employee is the one that actually registers. So you provide them with the code, and then they register. They register on their own, and then they're accountable for finishing the course in the required amount of time. Now, we say 3 months. You have 90 days to complete a course, but there is the option to extend. We understand that professionals are busy, so we do provide extensions from the 90 days. So that's often a question that gets asked. Does everyone have to take the same course? No, it's a redemption code for one course. It could be one of the 6 courses. So Mathieu said he loved global value chain, learning about Incoterms. I actually found that one challenging, but I learned so much from that course. You can start with that. Another individual might want to start with international sales and marketing. It's very flexible. Again, it's a redemption code for one course, self-directed. I put in the presentation that 6 months to redeem the codes, but we can work with you if you need an extension on that. But we say, as standard, it's 6 months to redeem the codes. Those are the main questions that I get asked. Mathieu, since there are no other questions, do you have any piece of advice for anyone on the line? Any recommendation?
I would just say, try it out. What I loved is that I did the training over maybe 7 to 8 months. I did the 6 courses, and while I was reading, a lot of new ideas came up. And what I found interesting is that I was able to apply what I learned in my job on a daily basis, because I met with customers and I found myself asking new questions that opened new topics of discussion. And I saw my credibility as a professional increase, but also just the fun, the pleasure that I had of working with clients, being able to talk about, other aspects that weren't banking related, but that just also increased my credibility, and also, yeah, the breadth of all of the different subjects that I could address with my customers. So I think it's very stimulating to do that as a professional that is already in the workforce, and it is a very I would say worthy exercise for sure. So hopefully you subscribe and you become one of us.
Excellent. Couldn't have said that better myself. Well, I thank you very much, Mathieu, for joining us and for this
You're welcome.
discussion and just, being, organic and the way, the value as you see it with the bank. So I appreciate that. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. As I mentioned at the onset, the session is being recorded and we will send you the link to the recording in a follow-up email. I believe that Tiffany has a quick poll that she wants to launch. So we really value your feedback. There it is on the screen. I'll just give everyone a chance to answer. And this, your feedback, if you have any recommendations for future events, we would love to hear about that. We're always trying to improve and provide something of great value to our community. So I'll let you close the poll, Tiffany, when you feel it's ready. And again, thank you everyone and have a great rest of the day. And please do not hesitate to reach out to FITT, reach out to myself, Lora at FITT.ca, any questions related to corporate solutions. So bye for now.
Merci Laura, thank you.
Thank you, Mathieu. Thank you so much.